Tara whenua e. Ni tuku atu ki te ao mārama, tuku atu ki tāwhanga whanamui ma rami mui na whakatana ki kai. Tu atu te makari I haere mai te uru ki karātu ki ka kau te tū, karātu ki ka huku, karātu ki ka huku. Ka more more o te ani haumi e kui e. Kia ora no tātou, ka rau hei tū te whai atu I ngā koe, me mi atu kōru kia tātou. Kamatu rāta e ni wahanga. Ka haere whai atu ki ngā whai a ngā kōru rāta kia tātou. And if you don't mind, I'll sit. I don't need you looking at me, I need you looking at me. So, fairly informal session. The session he rua ngā wahanga o te kōrero nei. Mea tuatai he te pūraka. Mea tuara te whai haere ngā kōrero e pāna ki ngā ture a atoe. So an introductory session to those. I think in between them, I think to connect here, the intent is to show how traditional knowledge can inform policy development and inform science and help with the engagement processes that we know are pretty clunky. So I just want to acknowledge our first speaker down here. He said some really simple messages with us this morning, Atama, in a really beautiful and simple way. He's made some really poignant points. And what I'm going to share with you this morning is just a small bit of that traditional knowledge that we know is out there. I apologise ahead of time because I know our tūparatua whānau have a slightly different way of expressing this pūraka, but it is what it is, and you take from it what you want to do. So go on. In between the presentations, there will be some references maybe in our language, because they can only be made that way, to inform the discussion or to identify change in direction of the session. When I was asked by the regional council invited by the regional council to share something like a few weeks ago now with the younger group, I gave some thought about that, given that our people in the geothermal space and in the wider community are having new discussions about their being expressed about the story. Why is not just the oil water and otherwise it's this like this? So I'm very conscious that our people are having a lot of discussions in this space, and I've taken a year or two to feel a little bit more comfortable about my saying something about it before I open my door. The mea tuatai te pūraka. Pūraka that I'm going to share is in the form of a narrative. Pūraka, or oral tradition which contributes to the framework for cultural, spiritual, and historical and traditional association of renewing the geothermal in its origin. The presentation will offer more insights into the geothermal origins, features and activities throughout New Zealand, particularly within the way Kiro. Second part of the presentation, the mea tuarua, te whakahei here ngā kōrero e whāna ki ngā whakatai ngā āture te tai ao kōtoi. So, regional council was a little bit wider than my whakatiki, although we would claim those areas too by association. This presentation, the mea tuarua, te whakahei here ngā kōrero e whāna ki ngā whakatai ngā āture te tai ao kōtoi. So, regional council was a little bit wider than my whakatiki, although we would claim those areas too by association. Pūraka being offered today will, among other things, recall a journey of exploration by one of our ancestors soon after his arrival here to Aotearoa. His name was Ngā Torian. Kau ki matanuku, kau ki matarangi, kau ki tēnei whenua, hei whenua, māu e kai te manawa tauha. I arrive where unknown earth is under my feet. I arrive where new sky is above me. I arrive in this land, a resting place for me. O Spirit of earth, the stranger humbly offers his heart as food for you. Noene te te o ngā me kore e pā kia ngā i ngā torurangi te wā ka taiki konei ki Aotea. Ki ai te kore. Ngā torurangi was a tohunga descended of chiefly bloodlines of heavenly origins. E ai ki ngā kore, ko puaorangi hea tua ki te rangi, ka moi ata kura i mono, ka puta ko i oho mairangi, nāna ko rua muturangi, nāna ko taunga tapu, nāna ko maua ke tapu, nāna ko uruika, ka moi a uruika, ko uruika, nāna ko te rangi tapu, nāna ko atua matua, ka moi atua matua, kia waiheke tua, ka puta ko rakauri, ka moi mōrunga i te rangi ka puta ko ngā tōrira. Koenei ka te o ngā kōra te heke tanu o tēnei tō mātai tupa. Born with the command of both physical and spiritual realms, Ngā Tora was also the navigator of the great voyage in Waka Tara, which made its final landfall at Okurai, Maketu, in the Bay of Plenty, where it rests today. Me Timata, composed in Waiata Tawhito traditional song style, recalls an oral tradition maintained by Tarawa in regards to the origins of geothermal activity within the Wairiki Rohe Maimake Tuki Tomina. It's among the opening lines of this motetea that our journey begins. Me Timata ia ngā toroirangi. My journey begins way back in time when Ngā Toroirangi climbed the peaks of Mount Tongaria. Pikiake ki te tihi o Tongaria. Ka kinongia tana kiri te mātao. Suddenly his skin showed signs of deadly frostbite. Ka ue atu rā ki o na tuahine. He called to his sisters in Hawaii to bring him warmth. Ka haria mai te ahi te wākainga. Kia ngatara te hiahia ka haruru mai te whenua ao te whenua pō. Hearing his plea, they travelled above and below ground. Ka tatu mai ki tana taha, mahu atu ia rāua te wera me te ai i te tahataha. Wherever they rested, they left their warmth and heat and fire. Ka māta toru, ka māraratia, the warmth spread throughout the Bay of Plenty. Noho I hora te mamawa, ki te whakarewa-rewa, te tūnga o te taua o wai. Anei te wai. No. You've gone one slide forward.
Sorry.
Ah. On the icon. Gotta have it on the icon. Having issues with our ticket. Doesn't want to play it, so I'll do it for you. E te matai a ngā toroirangi I piki ti ake ai ki te tihi o tona rero, ka kinongi a tana kiri I te mātau. Ka aue atu rā ki o ngā tuahine ki aharia mai te ahi I te wākainga ki angata rā te hiahia. Ka haruru mai te whenua ao te whenua pō, ka tatu mai ki tana taha, mahu atu ia rāua te wera me te ahi. E te tahata, ka māta toru, ka māraratia, noho I mora te mamāua ki te whakarewarewa te tūnga o te ape taua a wāhi awe. Ka tū wai wai ahau ki runga ia te pākira ki a maharama te titiro ki whakātūtū I mate ai a kurunga I tuku. Ia hatu patu ki ahi te au arato a tamaheke te reina wai kaukau o ngā tūpuna mātua. Me huri whakarunga ki papa a wharanui ki atora takuringa ki pare kōhuru. Te oha ki tanga o te iwi e. Ki ahi koi au ki koro tio tio kai tua mai ko te waroa ngā wai kai ko atu ko te wai o ni hotahi. Ki apeke atu ki pua pua e tū whakahira hira mahira kapahu tū ta whakami harotanga o te hau. E pōhiri mai ko papa kura kai wai ngā nui ko te poke ārua he ne ngā hotanura ko pura pura whetū. Ko ngā raratu atora ki ati karo karo atura e tū wanau I te take a pohatu roa. Kārunga ia te kume te ko te nohanga te rā o tū wahono ki a piki atu ki pua pua. E hoki au ki te pā o te pū ia ka whakarongo aku taringa ki te tangi o roto o whio. Te oki ngā te tini me te mana. Tū ana mai ko te aranu I āri. Takatai hore ko te ara wai hai tohu mo te rautau o roto. Te mōna te ra I kaui ai hora e hine mo. Te ui o te ara ka wai o tū haurangi e kōkō ia e ara. Names 33 of the Ngāwha of the more than 180 that were named by our ancestors, some of them over a century ago. So those, all those pūrākau that record the names and the reason they have those names are Hamoa, Tuharini, so we need to wait. Don't need to check. Technical innovation today, as good as it is, allows us to share those oral histories in a way, particularly for our young folk, in a way that they might understand it better and grasp it better and easier. Many years ago, Te Puia invested in a little bit in creating a whitiahua, or a way of presenting that oral knowledge, so that the world could share it. Without sound, so that our people who know the narration can narrate the oral history, both before and after they've watched the whitiahua. Now, alongside of this whitiahua, hoping the technology works this time, I've put another motetea, and the motetea is one perpetuated by our whānau TaparotoNicholson. And it's kaike ki wairaka, composed by Yehipuhi Wahine, of Ngāti TaparotoNicholson, where Te Hoata and Te Pupu, who were the tipua, are described symbolically as the sisters of Ngā Toruirangi. But those of us who do know a little bit about this know that it's actually Kuiwai and Hauhanaroa, those sisters. Those are the ones who sent the tipua and came with the tipua to hit their brother. Ka te au ka hoki, ka hooki, ka taku whenua tipu. But now I return to my native land, ki te wai koropupu e hiria maine, to the boiling pools which were brought I Hawaiki rā no e Ngā Toruirangi, from distant Hawaiki by Ngā Toruirangi. E o nā tuahine te hoatau te pupu, and his sisters te hoata and te pupu, e hurai tangariro ka mahana I taku kiri. To fume up on Tangaroa, give me warmth to my body. So I made te whitiahua, and hopefully a waiata.
There is no audio, so we can't do only by turning up the volume on the laptop.
Oh, I've done it.
So I'm sorry.
Turn it on. Turn it on. So that's an example of, it would have been an example of two waiata mō tētia that perpetuate those pūraka, that knowledge, that traditional knowledge. And there's other ways that's been perpetuated around Tarawa. There are many whakatauki, there are many kiwaha, so we sometimes hear them in the whaikoro, but there are two ways that traditional knowledge is being perpetuated. What we do with those? Well, we're hoping that people like the Regional Council look to that type of knowledge and put a value on it, more than it's being valued right now, to inform their policy and decision making and their processes, i.e. the engagement process. Nē, ko te wahanga tuarua, te whakahaere hia, whakahaere ngā kore mō ngā whakataenga āture ki te tai atua. So what are they? In 2008, and this is a little known by a lot of people, in 2008, as a consequence of Waitangi Tribunal settlement claim settlements, some of the iwi within the Taparotonicholson were recognised as having traditional association in geothermal spaces. So there are, in statute, 11 affiliate iwi. Now that might not sound like a big number, but among those 11 affiliate iwi are 32 hapu that have been duly recognised as having traditional association in the geothermal space. And what does that mean? For our people, it means that they have struggled and they have thought long and hard about sharing that knowledge in the first instance. They have done it, they've taken a long time to do it, and for many of them, it constitutes a recognition of their ownership. Now, government and government agencies might not necessarily see it quite like that, but that's certainly how many of our people see that. And the Waitangi Tribunal process has caused some anguish because of that. But that's happened, that's in statute, that's in law. So for those that already have had that recognition and acknowledgement in that document, the document's about 557 pages if I recall having flicked through it. It's a very important document, and as a consequence of that document being around and a few other things, there's a new group that has been newly formed, and I say newly formed, it's a year and a half young, and it's a group of Māori who are working in and around the geothermal spaces, some of them in industries, some of them in iwi, some of them in relationships with big corporate partners. I have been meeting for the last year and a half on behalf of those affiliates, looking to have, we're hoping to have this year the first affiliate coming together to find out what they want of us as a group purported to represent their interests. At the moment, all we can do is advocate on their and others' behalves in that space that is a Māori space. Advocating good engagement processes, advocating partnerships, advocating the coming together of research and technologies where our people want it. And you know, make no bones about it, our people want it. Our people are already in that space, in big corporate partnerships, and the one that springs to mind is Taurara North. Taurara North is by no stretch of the imagination the only one, but it's pretty big. They're in a really good arrangement with Mighty River, and they have an asset worth now of over 500 million. So we're no longer the quiet partner giving advice as to the values that you should be using. We're in the space, we're active in the space. So there's a new group, it's the Waiariki Māori Advisory Group, which I'm a member. I'm also a member of the newly formed Wai Regional Council Rotorua Geothermal Advisory. They've invited us to become members on this, so two of us sit on that committee. I think it's important. And we have conversations and about engagement and about our aspirations for iwi, but we're that much short of coming to any arrangements and agreements with any of them because our iwi haven't been informed. Our affiliates in our iwi, our aspiration as a group is to go back to the iwi and say, well, this is how we have been formed, this is what we have done so far, how do you wish us to progress on your behalves? Because you're the people we're purporting to represent. And if you want to change that group, by all means do that. But someone has to pick up that the ball and run with it in the interim, and that's been our group. And we're very conscious that we can't be saying too much about that because our iwi are the first ones we need to go back to. And we're mandated by it. So we're very conscious of it. So when that there is a huge sort of, it depends on how you look at it. I think for Māori, like I said, that's the first thing that we are the owners and here's our kōrero. But government don't quite see it that way. But we're saying to government, okay, our people have taken the time to give you that traditional knowledge. Now they want to have better relationships, and it's all about relationships. And they haven't been that good so far for 180 odd years, but they are. That's another quarter. So this is intended to give you an introduction to that. What is the statutory areas? What are the statutory areas? So statutory acknowledgements are the formal acknowledgement by the Crown that recognises the particular cultural, spiritual, historical and traditional association of iwi, Papua New Iwi, with the site of significance or resource identified as a statutory area. So what is a statutory area? A statutory area can include Crown land, geographic features, lakes, rivers, wetlands, coastal marine areas. The local statutory area are shown in Survey Office, and this is just a technical term, I don't want to go there too much. SO plans, and they look a little bit like this. So that's an SO plan, that's the SO 364723. For those that get into policy development and drive that sort of stuff, all we're interested in is, okay, where am I in there? You know, and that's the Rotorua geothermal area outlined down there. So, and it actually shows the Taupo volcanic region. We can't separate ourselves from that, so geographically we're included. Mai makituki tongariro it says, and Gwene te hua. And we have a lot of traditional knowledge, including the names of places that really cement that traditional knowledge in all of those areas. You know, if you took a tūwhara tour, take on the journey, you know, what have we got? We've got Reporoa, we've got Horohoro i ngā ringa tia, Taupo Nui Atia. We've got all of those names associated with the migratory movement of our ancestors that way, and coming back the other way as well. Although Ngāti Taurwhāua and others might have different kōrero, and that's that's what we expect in the Māori world view, that other iwi will have slightly different kōrero. So under the resource management in 1991, deeds of settlement and settlement legislation achieved with each iwi, meaning that regional council, this is the council that set this way up, district councils are required to include statutory acknowledgements, that document there, and to take heed of what that document says in terms of forming relationships with those who have traditional association. When it comes to resourcing and consenting, those people must be consulted. There's no way that they ought to be avoiding and dodging that one. That's in statute and they've got to be consulted. So our group again is advocating that can happen, but it can happen in slightly different terms than the government agencies might think. It should be negotiated terms of engagement, and Māori would be certainly advocating that there are changes made to that process. That's probably the one thing that gets in the road of that happening. That's my view of how engagement usually goes, and what's not happened for us, for our people, and the frustration that still carries on today. And that's simply a contractual arrangement between Crown and iwi, formed a parliament, grossly outweighed with Pākehā members, and you know, we're having this tino rangatiratanga talk again. And I've just used flags to make that statement that, and I've shared this with regional council, so I don't mind sharing anyway. That one of the things that we find continually frustrating is they fail to engage us on our terms. They fail to engage us. You know, all we want to do is have a conversation. But I don't know what it is. They fear us. They fear not understanding us. I don't know what it is, but it's a continual frustration for our people. That, you know, and my message to council is, you know, well thought out engagements, processes are really, really confrontational. They're pretty good. Mighty River Power, if you ask Mighty River Power what's the hardest thing they've had to do in the last 10 years of engaging iwi and the power stations to our west, they would say it was engagement. Keeping the relationship good. That's been their hardest task. Not making money, not building the power station, keeping good relationships. So that's a message that we advocate on behalf of iwi with every government agency we talk to. Might frustrate them, but that's the truth of it. When they ask us to sit at the table, that's a message we've got to share with them, first and foremost. So, who's this Waiariki Geothermal Advisory Group? We put together a year and a half ago at the request of the Minister of Energy as a consequence of a economic development plan that was put together by Māori all over the country and the government in 2012. The strategic plan rolls out from 2012 to 2017. We heard about it in 2014. Others were aware of it, but so if we've just heard about it and we're supposed to be working to advocate on behalf of Māori, how are Māori being involved? How are they being informed? So we picked this up, we've picked that up as one of our missions. Whilst we're still there, whilst we're acting in the best interests of our people, and we've picked that up and said, we'll run with the ball. We'll do the best we can to advocate the present Māori position until Māori want to change, until our people want to change. So we need that. And TaparotoNicholson are the group that's brought us together, and we are well supported, really well supported by GNS Science. They have been really good to us. Every piece of information they have is in the public domain, and it's really helped us become better informed about the spaces and the people that we're representing. So that's a little bit about our group. Kametura te kōrero, that's me. That's me, both sides of the kōrero, the pūrākau, and an introduction to that stuff.
Kia ora, Tarawa mai. I've just got a very quick pānui because we've got caterers that have been blocked by 2 vehicles. If any of these vehicles are vehicles in Corolla with registration plate SKR80S or a Beamer with registration plate ERZ296, could you leave legal straight away, please?
Sure. So just before I finish, folks, just to let you know about a little bit more about our group, because you'll be wondering, well, who's this geothermal barrier group? So what are our terms of reference? Our terms of reference are pretty simple. Strengthen collaboration across whānau, hapu, iwi agencies and achieve results for Māori geothermal development. Māori geothermal development, not Māori River Power. Work out and advise Māori geothermal developers of local arrangements for working with other government agencies. So we can bring together technology, science, and research on the Māori behalf, on their behalves, and bring it to the table. Escalate issues where resolutions can't be reached at a local level with MB and the Minister. We've got a direct link to the Minister. We didn't have to go via anything else, we go straight to the Minister. He's guaranteed us. So if Māori want a voice to want something to go straight there, we've got a voice there. Monitor, review and report local geothermal trends, gaps and issues quarterly. Local agency reps with MWAG will meet, so we report collaboration. So what we're hoping to do is report on collaboration where collaboration's happening, have it happen with Māori input at every level of the decision making. That's another awa among our people again. I want to be at the table at every level of the decision making. So that's a little bit about our group. Geothermal use, we've got a couple of projects we're looking at. You know, we've got 3 communities in Rotorua living in the geothermal space on the Ngāwha. And we're really hoping that the research and science that we're aware of now will help us change for people in those communities first. We know Rotorua Economic Group wants to develop, and they want to develop geothermal. But we're sort of advocating a method which looks at the communities first that are living there, our communities. So we're hoping to, in the very near future, that Ngāti Whakaue, their group come together. They're putting a group to discuss how they want to go about changing geothermal, how they use geothermal in their village. And we're hoping to advocate on their behalf, bringing together the research, the technology, and all those sorts of things. If we can create an example or a model of success with Ngāti Whakaue, we just keep going around the valley. Ngāpuna, Whakarewarewa, we just keep going. And then we might say to Rotorua, well, now we'll help you. Okay? Good. So, nō reira, kamatua.